Well, Tommy, another hectic few days. Unfortunately, it's becoming something of a pattern over the last couple of months.
Well, if two times is a pattern, then it's the start of a pattern, but it's not one that we want to continue, obviously. As before, I can only say that when these things happen, it's unfortunate and somebody's losing a job. But we have to carry on as a football club, and we have to make sure that we look to improve the situation as quickly as we can on the pitch, and then the process of finding the new guy to take the reins will continue. But ultimately, in my mind, the only thing I'm focused on as we're speaking here is the game tomorrow.
So you'll have seen all the games. You'll have your ideas. What's not been going right over the last few weeks?
We just haven't won enough football matches. Simple as that. I mean, it isn't rocket science, is it? You know, there's a reason people are moved on from managerial roles, and ultimately it's about results. That's it. There's no other reason.
So why would you say that is then? Why have the performances not been good enough?
I mean, ultimately the guy who picks, manages and directs the team is responsible. You know, the players are responsible primarily once they cross the white line for the actions, but the buck stops at the manager's door. The manager has full control of the selection of the players. In this instance, obviously Paul came in at a time where the squad was on the whole in place. He had the opportunity and did bring in a couple of players in January, and will be, I'm sure you know, was disappointed he didn't get another one, but that happens. You know, you can't. If we got every single player we wanted to bring to the club, then, you know, everything would be a different story. But it doesn't work like that. So, you know, the hand that's dealt to the guy in charge is that hand. How it's played is up to the manager. It's as simple as that.
And is this squad good enough to keep you in League One this season?
100%. I have absolute faith in the squad. I have absolute faith in the way that the club have recruited the squad, because the guy the buck stops with has a massive part to play in that.
I guess the worry for a lot of fans would be that that's two managers this season, and you go back through Graham Cochran. It's not that long ago Darryl Clark was in charge, but you know, they haven't been able to get a tune out of this group yet.
I mean, that's a fair comment, and ultimately I understand the frustrations of supporters who are absolutely entitled to their opinion. I think what we have to, you know, weigh up here is you have to measure and quantify the fact that the loudness of the disgruntled is often amplified because of the mediums in which they're allowed to say what they want. If the gates were open at the Mem, I know because I've received as many positive messages and emails as I have not so positive, that, you know, the voice would undoubtedly be behind the guys. A lot of our players have unfortunately not experienced the Mem. Of course, a lot of the people who are upset at what's happened in terms of results, that's where they get their frustrations out on a Saturday. They get the camaraderie with their pals. You know, they're behind the side. And it's a very different dynamic. I understand that, and I understand the frustrations, believe me. I come from a place very similar to Bristol in Newcastle, and it's a massive city where the football is what we live for. The Gasheads are no different, and I understand that. So trust me, when the boys take to the pitch tomorrow, not that they don't know, but it will be reiterated to them that pulling on the blue and white quarters is not just playing a game of football on a Saturday afternoon. There's much more involved in that. So you can be rest assured that the task in front of them will be simple, it'll be clear, and they'll be able to do what they're asked to do. Simply as that.
Because looking at this squad, I think trying to be objective, that there's a lot of talent there. There are a lot of players with a lot of technical ability. When you compare it to some teams in League One, what they do lack in certain parts of the pitch is experience. Is that fair?
No. We took to the field at Accrington Stanley with 950 plus starts in League One. They had 450.
Yeah, no, and that's fair enough, and they played very well that day. But I'm looking at the top end of the pitch, and you've got three strikers who the most experience is 23, 100 plus games. There's not a lot there in terms of been there, seen it, done it.
More than enough there to score the goals to make sure that this club are competitive in this division. The group that were assembled not just as individuals. They were assembled to play in a certain way, not in one particular shape, but in a certain style, and they were deemed the right people at the right time. Now, I don't lose faith in that, and if you guys look back historically at what you reported when we signed these players, you were always excited and name promotion, name this, name that. If I heard it, I saw it, and because it isn't going well, it's your job to report the other. I don't lose faith. Players don't become bad players because they come to Bristol Rovers. Far from it. We want to improve, but we want to improve them whilst they're on the pitch. And there are people who have been brought into the football club, even in these last 12 months, that because they're getting game time and they're playing, they as individuals are improving, and therefore the team will turn this corner.
Okay, so when you sat in similar position of 2-3 months ago, before Paul Tisdale was appointed, you said you didn't want the job. Is that still the case now?
Yeah, I have a job. I know what my job is. I know what my role is. The club have told me what my role is. I will be in charge until the next person is put in situ. When that is, I can't answer that question.
No, absolutely, but as long as it takes. And realistically, with the run that you're on, it's just about getting a win this weekend, isn't it? It's that simple.
That's what I said the last time I came in. As far as I'm concerned, there's only one thing in my mind, and it's one game. And I'll be asking the lads to go and win one football match. After that one, then there'll be another question for them. But ultimately, we know what we're facing. We have really good resource at this football club to provide the guy who picks the team with all the information in the world. And the players will have visuals and they'll have coaching this morning. The team will be picked and told, and we'll have a task to do tomorrow. Like I said, the only thing it's missing in there is the fans. And we more than anybody, would rather the fans be in it than not.
Have you had to draft anybody else in terms of helping out coaching-wise, or are you happy with what you've got short-term?
We have an excellent staff at this football club. Like I said, the resource that the club provide to the manager, and in this week, it's me this weekend, couldn't be sniffed at. It's better than most clubs.